Staples in every outdoor event of the hacker community, the infrastructure review. All the numbers, all the facts on how much love, labor, passion, tears, pain, energy, and so on went into making this event even greater than the last one and even more awesome than anything I've seen before, to be honest. So please give a very, very, very loud applause to the MCH 2022 infrastructure team.
Many thanks for the warm applause. It's really helped us to forget the last 10 days for build up and keeping the power running. For all you have fun and have power. So I give you a review about first was planned. We make our power monitoring like CCC camp, and we have some nice DMR stuff. We tested, and then come a lot of things that are not planned. Some stuff not arrived, some stuff was missing, some stuff was wrong, and yes, we had plenty of things to do. So, first always, plans always right. Also, this is one of our plans. Maybe it was working, then the cable's too short, things not here. So we have switched over lines and we measure lines. Okay, we get some wrong resistance on it. We have to change to bigger cable. This just happened if you're in a field. And this is different from last time. So we had a different setup this time. Last time we have more generators mid in the field, and we have planned first to use transformers from Leander. That's a local power company. And they say, so, we have built up a cloud computer center. We have no people to get you your transformer. And we switch to use generators, and we use the scouting infrastructure. This is built for scouts, so they normally hook up some cookers, maybe a warm water heater, something like this. And then we put on this network our power and put more cables on it, so we have about 150 cable linked after the cabinet from the scouting. So we never do this again, so that's not the right idea. So we had some issue with current loop resistance, so on short circuit, circuit breaker will not drop properly. So I had to do a lot of things about this. So then find we some nice thing, like every time, this is rental equipment. Or you see on the right side, this was a boat with a speed limiter with a CE plug. Let's just make a picture of it. It's very nice. Here's a second controller inside, and inside you have more speed. Even this is rental stuff. No? All stuff is tested from the rental company. Say it's all tested. You can use it. It's fine. No, it's not. This was also a nice device what we collected. There was some pizza oven with some problems with the heating element, so get some error current to ground, and they put this nice thing in. First thing is a 300 milliamp RCD is not allowed. All 32 amps are smaller connectors have to be a 30 milliamp RCD. So I just put in a 300 milliamp, and it's very nice. In German called this klassische Nullung. So the main incoming earth ground is about the right device. You see, this is some protection diode about 50 volt. Okay, as the voltage goes on the case from the enclosure goes over 50 volt, then this short circuit to ground is do this one time, and now it's an open circuit. People, if you bring stuff that's working not properly, just give us a call, come to us, we will you help. We always help the Mecklenburger to fix their stuff in every event, that's normal. If you have a problem, we can try to fix it for you. Maybe we can try to get your parts for you. We will help you. If you have any problem with electrical equipment, come to us. We are not the bad guys. We will help you get stuff running and get it safe for all. So don't do it, please. Even we collect some 32 to 16 amps adapters and some other riot stuff, we just catch them and give them back. Then other things, yes, we have very nice generators with, a little bit smoke. So it's the state what you get, some rental equipment. So this have to running a little time. Or we have plans in the middle, you see a nice cabinet from scouting. It says there's 63 and 32 connectors inside, and we open it and say, oh, nothing inside. Oh, maybe a Schuko connector. Or nice connector, so isolation is cutted on the cable, so you use a knife at it. Please, if you have need assistance, come to us, we help you. If you have any problem, we fix it for you. So we go out of stuff, we get a second rental company, maybe we get some stuff more, this is very helpful. We are running out on stuff on Monday and build up, so all was gone. And we get some nice cabinets, what you see on the right, with Belgian connectors. And so, not all have this multi-plug with a hole inside. And we get this nice adapters too from Aggreko. It's weird, but it's working. You have to switch over to CE. Normally, with Schuko is not allowed, while you don't have the polarity with neutral and lifeline. But this one on a Belgian connector, you have this. You can plug in the wrong direction and then go back to Schuko, and it's working. The middle device that we found, and this was some measurement device on a 32 amp with no extra fuse, then open lines and into Schuko. People, don't do it. This is don't do this fucking shit. Buy a fuse box, put 3 fuse in it, and no guys, not this way. Isolate tape. I don't know is isolated DC voltage on the outside. Please don't do this shit. Our people will go home in very healthy state, and died people. Nobody want to have this, and even if it's a child, we never can use it for us, for ourselves. So we are measurement every LCD on the field. We make it on CCC camp, we make it on Congress, and we do it now here. And there was some discussion about this. Have you do it? Always be doing it. This was a lesson what you learned. You find always broken stuff. LCDs on the field. We tested as come on the truck, is trashing around the field before they place it. Something get wrong. We test everything. We found broken devices. We replace them, and that's help all our set is safe. Some hackers bring weird stuff. Yes, we are a hacker camp. That is fine. So, but the LCD have to be working for all we have in the safe state. That is really, really important to check this. We do it this time. We make it always as help other people, and this is a nice thing to do. We found some weird things. This is about that you see on the left corner. This is a short current what we have, the 65 amps on a Schuko line. And the circuit breaker need a little amount of current to trip fast. If the loop impedance goes too high, then the breaker will only trip on the terminal, and this takes some time to trip. So maybe you have a fire on it. Thus we have some mass loop impedance on long lines. Thus we have to run thicker cables, and we can fix this from. This was at the lowest end what you can do. Even on the right side, you see we measure earth current, earth resistance on a generator or on the dike. This is okay, but measurements and stuff will help us all. So then we come here and starting make power. Oh, Aggreko set on the generator, but the generator does not hook up. Okay, I go in and hook up the generator with a small cable, so see on the right. And we get some 2 errors. First one, say warning overspeed. Okay. The generator runs on 52.8 Hertz. This is a lot. This is no problem for the most devices, except USB from the POC team is say, oh, this is not right. Oh, let me switch to battery, and then it's died. Then this was this little switch, what you see, say resistance load. And the generator tries to regulate this against the resistant load, but you have to hook up an external load. This switch was on, nobody knows this, but that was not the biggest issue what you have. The biggest issue what you have was that the generator here on the field on E0 was not bonded between neutral and ground. We start the measurement on the boxes what we delivered out and say, hey, we have a lot of resistance. We cannot think we had about 10 kilo ohms resistance. And the incoming network from Leander, from the power company, is a TT network. It have no bonding. It have a bonding in the transformer, but not a local bonding at the power houses here. Then we talk to Aggreko, and they say, yes, you have to open the generator. We make some temporary fix with a coffee cup and a little bit water. And then you see we have to bond. This is on the right picture. You see the wire with a green mark. This have to hook to the neutral position. This was the only generator that had it. We measure every generator. Lesson learned. Measure every stuff. Don't trust anything. You don't know. Somebody can rent this before. Some guys do something on a generator. Everything. Try to measure it. So we have fixed this problem. Then we have a proper grounding and all LCD stripped correctly. That's what we need. Then we're starting to try get some monitoring. This was Planet. Same, we bring our power boxes. Yes, some guy had this near Frankfurt. Oh, we have a truck, you can leave it, and then the truck on 120% load, and we don't have them. So, and we had so much shit to build up to get the monitoring running like we do on the other events. So then we find that the Aggreko have a nice controller on it. Most commercial big generators have the deep sea controller on it, just rebranded with Aggreko. Oh, this has a Modbus and Ethernet port. It's an 8,000 series controller, and it's very nice. If you register at deep sea, just make an account there. You can download the software, and you get a 300-page Modbus documentation with every command that you need. Oh, we try on the first generator. Oh, we have to set up, and then something happens. Yes, there was a shortout on A0, like here. Es war a talk running. Other people were very happy about this. So, oh, power off. I love it. Yes, this was a different style controller. We don't look exactly on it. And I think as far as the CAN bus, the generators talk together with a CAN bus cable. It's just an XLR cable. So, and then we plug an Ethernet port in, and the generator says so, oh no, just don't like it, switched off. The Gen 2 gets all this load and say so, ooh, under speed, and then just the motor gets turned off. It hasn't handled the load, and then was a complete power output. Broken. The generators and the postcard, this wasn't very happy about this. They say so, oh, that was rude, wrong port, it really turned me off, and it goes off. Yes, you look on the back side, you see this nice computer logo on it that says port A10, and we says, okay, just unplug it, plug a network in, and that was our fault. Then we get our connections. We pick our VLAN. NOC was very helpful. They sent us a confirmation via post. Okay, we have configured VLAN. Some cable issue in the E0 building. Then set up our pizza box thing, patch Grafana, and yes, we get some data. This is the from E0, but only one generator. The second one is only Modbus, so you need an interface. And you see exactly where the Mecklenburger starts cooking. And you see nice in the mid of the day, as they see the cooking phase, and then gets a little bit down, and then see when the dishwasher is running. And this is only the half load. Another one is a generator. You see current, see voltage. And another generator was on the Suse field, a small one on the camper. There's not a lot of work there, mostly the lightnings there. But you get current, you get voltage, you get your frequency, you get your temperature. And these controllers are really great, but you have to figure out which setup the generators have. They support a lot of different motors, things like this stuff. And yes, we get this running. The next event we will do is we check out in the first how to communicate with the generators. You can complete remote control it. You can see everything. You can do everything. And yes, it's will helpful to get events running and see problems in the first. We had some problems on the L01. Some generator goes off, then try to sync, and the syncing doesn't work. There was some power outage about this. Yes, maybe Aggreco have a little bit more care of it. So if you have this remote access, you can see every configuration, you can change the configuration and see problems. It's very nice. So, conclusion for our power this time. Never ever trust rented equipment, never. If the rental company has tested, test it again. If they say it's grounded properly, measure it. Set schedules for early delivery so you have some time to react about this if stuff not coming right. So, and rent lease at most 30% of equipment. So the plants never work. Oh, I need somewhere. Oh, we need somewhere. Oh, we need some power more. This will help our people. And use more as one rental company. So if your rental company rents you some stuff, it's helpful you need more. If you only have some, yeah, can you deliver, you don't rent funny fun. And plan more time for build up, troubleshooting, test time in your build up schedule. 7 days is really hard for this big power. So maybe start 3 days earlier and it's help everything. Gensets, yes, we get a lot of SATA. Next event, always thought we have a good monitor on it. Schule is a fixed broken turn setups, complete remote control. This we fine. Some things about teardown, do not remove. Please don't do it. Any of our connections. We will do it. There's some connection you can't pull them on load. We'll do it, not do it. Please connect your stuff so early as possible. Take only your stuff, and don't connect others. We have to pay where every cable is not here. So when you're late, we here tear down, we just disconnect your cables and we let them there. And please help us to get this event tear down. Go to the heaven, be an angel. Many, many thanks for all people to get to help us on this time here to get this event running. It was very nice here. We had a lot of days we say, oh shit, out there, drive home. And the end, it was a very nice event. Many, many thanks to all people to make this happen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're interested on the talk from the Power Monitor last camp, the link is on the sheets. I will send you to the box, so we'll put it in. Many thanks. Next it. I think now NOC is coming. Okay. Have a nice, warm welcome for the NOC people. You gave us all the nice internet what you have, and I pass over to Nico Duck. Yes. So, what's
Can we have a second microphone?
Well, we can pause.
Or we can.
Just pause it.
Yeah, Hi. I think we'll just pass on the microphone. Give me a second to connect the laptop. Oh, only one at the moment. Yeah, would be easier, yeah. Cool. Hi, I'm Nico. This is Arjan. We are from the NOC. We are doing the NOC part of the infrastructure review. And there's also our second microphone. Thanks. That makes it easier. Test it. Oh.
Testing.
Yeah.
So we'll jump right in to the network we've built for you here. This is the global network topology of what we've built. This time we actually have 2 external locations where we have our edge routers for all the external connectivity. That is in the Smart DC in Rotterdam and the NICHEF in Amsterdam. So there we pick up all of our transit providers, internet exchanges, and from there on we are using 100 gigabit DWDM waves to get here onto the site. The next slide will explain a little bit more about how we're actually getting that to the site. And then here in Zeewolde, we have 2 data center, quote-unquote, data center locations. We call them E0 and L0. Those are the concrete buildings you see, for example, yeah, like next to
the NOC.
Yeah, next to the NOC tent. And then that's the E0, and L0 is the building that's sort of integrated into the Scouting's Avonturenhuis. So there we have then those 2 routers also interconnected with 100 gigabit, and from there on out we are downlinking towards the the various data encloses we have on the site and the switches. And we have this time the opportunity to actually multi-home all the data encloses. So each data enclose has a 2 times 10 gig uplink, and it's also redundant. So if one router would fail, or if there's a fiber cut, the data enclose still has connectivity. So for the long haul uplink, to actually get the link from here on site all the way to Amsterdam, we have a sort of complicated setup this time because the dark fiber prices were very high to go direct from here in Zeewolde to Amsterdam. So we have a 2-part connection where we have rented the dark fiber from Zeewolde to Almere, and from Almere we have a sponsored DWDM connection from Surfnet, which is the Dutch research network. And on this network, we're using a technology which is called a alien wave. So we are essentially able to transmit a signal on a specific frequency, which they then can, which Surfnet can plug into their network, and they will transport it from Almere back to Amsterdam. And the nice thing about that is that the Surfnet DWDM network is quite large, and they also have a backup path. So if they would have a fiber cut, say from the direct path from Almere to Amsterdam, they have a backup path via Hilversum. So that's quite nice. The dark fiber from here to Almere, that is that's a single connection. So if somebody would put some backhoe in the ground, and the fiber would be gone. So luckily everything went well so far. And so and with this we're transmitting a 200 gigabit coherent DWDM signal over this, and we're then using the 200 gigabit connection to break it out to 100 gigabit. Lastly, we also have a connection back to Rotterdam that is also on 100 gig, but those are a sponsored connection. So for the internet part of the uplink, we are running our own AS again, which is registered under Event Infra. We have a requested a temp assignment from RIPE, so we have a /17 of IPv4 space, and also we have loaned a /19 IPv4 prefix from the CCC. Well, in terms of external connectivity, we have quite a bunch of transit and peering connections. So we have a few of them in Rotterdam, and then we have a whole bunch of them in Amsterdam. And so we have a few of those connections running on 100 gig, and the others are running on 10 gigabits. You want to take the next one? Yeah. That is.
This is just, I would say, a list of all the hardware that we deployed on site. We had the 2 main core routers in the 2 concrete building, E0 and L0, which are donated or loaned by Juniper. We also had some more Juniper devices from the Juniper loan. And besides that, we had a whole bunch of Arista switches and Aruba Wi-Fi access points deployed all over the site, in the data enclose, in the track tents, at the bar, at some villages, to get a decent network coverage. All the optical stuff, like all the optics, are again loaned by Flex Optics, which is always quite nice from them. We also had quite a lot of servers running on site to keep most of the data or all of the data needed to run it on site and not leak something out of the site. This is just some random pictures we took during the deployment. We had, you might have seen the NOC tent, which was quite huge, which was also good to store all the stuff during deployment, to do the assembling of the sticks you see for the Datenklos. We had saw some funny mounted Wi-Fi access point, which was upside down. This should not have been a bird feeder, so we put it up the right way again to stop water getting in. We did a brand new setup this time. The last times we used 10 gig BiDi optics to connect all the Datenklos. And this time we thought, oh, we could do some CWDM magic. So we had always 4 Datenklos in a ring. We used 40G LR4 optics in the core router, which have 4 different wavelengths, so 4 different colors of light containing 10 gig each. And we broke out one of these colors in each Datenklo. So I would say one Datenklo was green, the other was blue, and then we got red and yellow. Of course, not these colors, but just to make it a bit easier. And we connected them to both core routers. So one Datenklo had an east connection on one wavelength and the west connection on the other wavelengths. So there was a lot less fiber to deploy for this setup, which sped it up by quite a while, since we had so many fiber already underground. The scouting site has some connection between the beton, the concrete buildings E0 and L0 to the distribution cabinets you saw in the earlier talk, where the power comes out. They also have fiber connectivity in there, and we heavily used them to have backbone connectivity on site. We had our own, I would say, branded CWDM muxes from Tallgrass. We had a sweatshop over there to assemble them ourselves to keep the cost a bit to a minimum. And they even have the laser engraved fiber squirrel, which is with us since Camp 15. Of course, there was some Datenklo contamination again. It happens nearly to all the events, mostly during build-up. I have the feeling that it's mostly happening to Datenklos near some tents which are being set up. So I'm not totally sure if this is the right audience or if we should talk to the tent builders. But in case you come around someone picking a Datenklo during build-up of the next event, please talk to them and make them stop contaminating them. It's always fun to come in and replace them on the last notice, but it would be a bit more relaxing if we didn't have to. Someone also thought that it would be funny to put tamper-proof seals on the DKs. It was kind of annoying, but I'm also thinking about if this would help stop contamination during build-up, if we put the seals up on ourselves. But since someone's taking the effort to pick a lock, I'm not thinking that a tamper-proof seal would make any difference here. Maybe we'll give it a try, maybe not, we'll see. We operated the 3 on-site data centers. The biggest one was the E0 building right next to the NOC tent behind the 2 generators. We hosted equipment in there for basically all of the teams which wanted to have on-site equipment hosted. This was the phone operation center, the video team, the radio team with the on-site Motorola coverage was there, the sysadmin for stuff, and of course our own systems like the DHCP server DNS automation was running on site. As these concrete buildings have quite thin walls, they became really hot during build-up when we had over 40 degrees or around 40 degrees outside. The wall heated up to over 40 degrees and the ceiling too. So we had to put 3 air conditioning units in there to keep it to a usable level, which mostly shoved the hot air from the sun out. The systems didn't do so much. We also improved our Netbox setup again. We've been using Netbox for our network automation since Camp 19. We are expanding it constantly. We have great folks in the NOC team developing CFG to generate all the routing and switching config from Netbox. And this time we also used Netbox to have all the patched fiber in there. Last time we used some spreadsheet for documentation. Now it was in Netbox too. We did the planning. We even used our tools to calculate the fibers we needed. So we have this inventory of long fibers, and we knew which fibers we would need on site. And our tools helped calculating and picking the right fibers for the right job. And then we fed this data back to Netbox. We also used it again for device tracking, IPAM, and all the stuff we probably had in our previous infrastructure reviews.
So finally, some statistics from the network we've run here. We have been able to push the uplink on the receive side. So what we receive on site, that went up to 50 gigabit. That's somewhere yesterday evening. And transmit was at the maximum of 14 gigabit. We had around a peak of 2,800 Wi-Fi clients on the network. Over the course of the 5 days, we've seen around 8,500 unique clients. And for some reason, we've only seen about 1,000 badges on the network, so I'm not quite sure if that is the right number, but yeah. And this time we had the 10 gigabit copper connections available too in every Datenklo. So what we've been able to collect in terms of data is that we've seen around 25 connections actually running on 10 gigabit copper, so that's quite nice. Lastly, there was also one on-site internet exchange, which was run especially for the event, which is the MCH IXP. Yeah, lastly, so running a network like this cannot be done without any sponsors. So we have a quite long list of sponsors that are either sponsoring or loaning hardware or giving connectivity. So I will go through the list, but it's Junipers, which we use for the edge and core routers, Flex Optics for all the transceivers, Tallgrass, who helped with the all the muxes you have also seen, i3D.net helped with co-location, the DWDM equipment, and IP Transit, Babil for the servers, Bit for the UTP cables, all the blue UTP cables you've seen on site. Event Infra helped with the access network, so it's all the Aristas and all the Aruba access points. Surfnet supplied the alien wave between Almere and Amsterdam. Core Backbone is IP Transit provider, NTT as well. NLEX sponsors an internet exchange port. A2B and Fusix and Wobcom all sponsored IP Transit connections. And lastly, a cross-connect in NICHF for the MCH Internet Exchange is sponsored by EDITAP. Want to do the last one? Okay. Sure.
Yeah, we also had some fun during the event. You all know most of the NOC work is happening before and after the main event. So we thought it would be fun to have some spliced fiber necklaces there. It was a bit hard, as I heard, but it worked. So yeah, that's basically what we have. Thanks for attending. The main network will stay up until tomorrow. Today we will only tear down the track tents, but basic Wi-Fi coverage will stay until tomorrow, something in the morning or midday. Thanks all.
Hello. So a quick couple of facts about the phones from the Phone Operations Center, this time brought to you by the Entropia, Karlsruhe, Westwood Labs, Chaosvermittlung and some friends. What did we bring to this event? We have almost the same setup as on SHA 2017. So we brought about 26 DECT radio base stations, have 5 fiber interconnected PBXs on the field, which connect to all these DECT antennas, controlled by 2 redundant PBX controller VMs with redundant IP connections. And also we do have 20-something field phones distributed across the field, which are manually operated. Some statistic. So we do have many calls handled. We have about 500 inbound as well as outbound calls to the public telephone network. Connectivity to that was sponsored from our friends at SpeakUp, which also sponsored dial-in and dial-out at SHA. So we have a total of about 45 hours of telephony to the public network, mostly to Germany, the Netherlands, Austria, Italy, and Belgium. Yeah, our DECT network, some statistics, no numbers, just pictures. You can see an overview of our SHA map with all the deployed base stations. Most of the traffic, of course, happened around the center of the area where the Phone Operations Center and all the other OCs resides, but also distributed across the field. Coming to the availability, we had no time for downtime this year. Almost, we have lost one antenna for about 10 minutes, but the rest is just a nice green graph. Thank you very much. Also, many thanks from our side go to all the angels who operated nearly 24 hours a day the switchport PBX to have all the field phones connected and provide the ability for everyone to listen to the beloved waiting song Bohnen in the Ohren. Some tech facts. So. One slight change towards SHA 2017 is that we have now a working auto-registration feature for our DECT phones, so you don't need to come again anymore with your phones to the POC tent, but just register them yourselves. About 420 people have done that, so thank you for saving our angels many, many hours of manually registering DECT phones, because that was a lot of work at the last event. Some novelty we also had this time was a bit of optical transformation, because we're using the on-site fiber network, which is mostly single-mode fiber, and we built some custom adapters to adapt multi-mode fibers, which we have on our old telephony system, to the single-mode on site. So many thanks go to our friend Fabian, who helped designing and building these things. Also, if you want to check it out, you can go to GitHub and visit the project there if you want to build some SFP to SFP fiber adapters yourself. Regarding teardown, the phone network will probably be gone by the end of today or the beginning of tomorrow. So if you have any land DECT headsets and chargers from us, please return them to the POC tent as soon as you don't need them anymore. Preferably tomorrow noon at the latest, so that we can pack everything up and get off site as soon as everything is done. Thank you very much.
So, we're a production house team, mainly part of a couple of Dutch people plus VOC. And these are our experiences of the last 2.5 years. We prepared the event by starting with a Dutch C3 VOC node in Amsterdam, together with Event Infra and the NOC team. And then the logistics started to get all the hardware here, because after the last 2 years we had a lot of hardware all over Germany. And we plan to do some config management changes, because maintenance was needed. So, build up.
During build-up, we had a lot of fun because our logistic provider was once again quite unreliable. Pickup dates, they apparently don't know what they are. We haven't figured it out either because they gave us estimates and then picked it up a week later. We also don't know what drop-off dates are yet because our logistics provider hasn't been able to teach us that. And in some cases, the shipment has been routed quite scenically. We had like a shipment going from near Berlin to Leipzig, to Bad Homburg, and then to somewhere in the Netherlands. It was quite fun. Yeah. On the topic of config management, we have started the process of replacing our old and outdated Ansible config management with BundleWrap. Our team data center has rewritten configs for all of the on-site devices of C3 VOC. So the encoders, the mixer laptops, the TelePies, and our data center, which required reinstalling all of the operating systems during the event. And we've done all that within the last 2 weeks. Yeah, commit like there's no tomorrow. We've made a lot of changes, and this is just like a part of that commit log. We had around 100 commits or so at the end of the event. Quite a lot of work.
So, during the event we learned a few things. Apparently, these tents are not waterproof, which means the tarps and that little tent over there. We also learned that long HDMI is quite unreliable, especially with 4K signals. And because the TVs are now almost all of them are 4K, and we're not. One power outage, we think, killed an amplifier controller that 8 hours later decided to make a talk really unpleasant. And to fix that up, we moved one talk to a different tent, but that tent was closed. We couldn't use it anymore after the 1 o'clock. And the talk would run over that. So we invented the silent stage, which we'll show a picture of. And we had an unfortunate incident with a mute button during a talk the first talk yesterday morning, which we managed to re-record today. Oh, sorry, wrong button. So we built a nice little tent to protect the equipment. So that's a tent squared or something. This is the silent stage. You see a lot of people watching a bytecode jam with all connected with headphones. The tent itself is completely silent until you put the headphones up, and you had really nice music and commentary on the competition going on. And we also had this thing. Apparently, we are now covering all the insides of our equipment with MCH dust, which was already containing CAMP19 dust, and also maybe SHA-2017 dust. So it's time to open the cases again and clear them out.
Yes, C3 Dust really did a lot of work. Who also did a lot of work were all of our angels. We need 5 angels per talk, plus an additional AV technician to be in the lecture hall at all times. That gives us around 660 shifts for the whole event. We had to do 3 angel introductions because of people apparently arriving too late for the first 2 introductions. And on a personal note, we would really appreciate it if people signed up for their shifts in advance and not just like 5 minutes before the talk or showing up during the talk. It's quite stressful for us to have the angel system showing us a lot of angels missing for shifts and having to deal with that.
And showing up on a stage and there's like 10 people because they all want to do a shift, but they all forgot to sign up for it. please do better next time. It saves us a lot of headache during the night.
So yeah, we also extended our VOC network. Normally, the VOC network just contains our own infrastructure, like the video mixer and the mixer laptops and all that. This time we extended it a bit. We also added the audio mixers into the VOC network and configured them ourselves. The in-room video mixing, which is what is used to switch between the info beamer and the slides on the monitors and the big screen behind me, was also configured by us and put into the VOC network. And we have made sure to save the configuration and everything, and that will be possible to reuse at future events. It just allows a few comfort features, like the AV technician no longer has to run to the front to switch the info beamer, but can just do it comfortably from the back on their laptop. Some statistics: we had 132 staged videos. We have released almost all of them at this point. That's about 100 hours and 20 minutes of video. In total, we had 118 angels, 4 Winkekatzen, 2 unicorns, and countless cuddles, because apparently we are not only the video operations center, but also the Flausch operations center. Some colorful graphs. We've got statistics about when the stream was watched the most and when it wasn't. Very obviously, nobody watched the stream during the night. It's interesting, the baseline of people that left their TVs turned on, apparently. Can't say I have a problem with that. We had quite a nice pause music during the event. Yeah, and to end, we would like to thank some people.
We would like to thank Spiker Sound, who built the everything you see. We especially like to thank Holoplot, who supplied these magnificent loudspeaker systems, which can do much more than we were able to show you here. We especially would like to thank the angels that helped us, because we can't do this ourselves. There's just 10 of us.
10 of us, roughly.
Yeah. Roughly, and there's hundreds of angels that helped us. And personally, as production house, I would really like to thank all the people of C3 VOC, who always make this a really fun experience to do these events. And we hope to see you soon on the next event.
And lastly, thanks to all of you. If you weren't here to watch the talks, there wouldn't be no reason for us to produce them. So thank you.
Hello, I'm representing the Herald team, and you're nearly done. So the Herald team is a new team. Most of the people were not Heralds before, or at least not at hacker events. We had people from 15 to 77 heralding in Abacus and everywhere, so I think this is quite awesome. We covered 3 stages and 1 Herald desk with all these 23 people. We had a talk coverage of all the talks that required a Herald, which is all beside of something like lightning talks. These were 132. As some talks were repeated, we did some twice. And we also looked slightly into the workshop tents, and well, we also covered some of those that didn't need a Herald. We had 0 empty or late or missed shifts, which is awesome for this event. We had an average team member, talks per team member was 5.73 whatever. So some did quite much, some did not so much, but had other things to manage, like children and stuff like this. So very thank you to all the heralds. We had 181 herald shifts with these 23 heralds, and a lot of back office things additionally happening. So I'm used to speaking with talk cards as a herald, not as a presenter. So we had some other numbers. We also had to monitor the CO2 levels in the tents, which stayed fine beside of the time when we had this jam session going on here, and we were actively blowing CO2 into the tent, and well, the number went crazy. But I think we could manage this. But we had to open up the tents for heat because it was quite hot in between. I hope you wouldn't be happy. Yeah, I hope it was okay. So we used 450 talk cards, or we went through 450 of these nice talk cards. We ate 2 birthday cakes because one of our heralds had birthday and was then doing herald shifts. Which is great, I think. And we used a lot of water, sunscreen, and hats. Well, also Mate. We had 21 different announcements, even if you probably only remember 2 or 3 and sleep about them. So actually we had 2 complaints reaching us. The others probably were held up by the Salzamt thingy complaint booth or something. So the complaints were that we were repeating too much the same announcements. Yes. We earned 4 sets of parking and trash angel patches. If you want some, you still probably can get them by doing these shifts. You probably saw them all. But we got 4 sets because we were showing them to you. Well, we lost 2 sets. If you find some, please send them over to hardworking angels. We had 1 speaker being hit by a herald. There was a mosquito or something, I was told. Yes, and we had 1 field telephone call. So somebody actually was using them. Great. Yes, then I have to tell you, drink more water. And now I can happily announce the content team, I guess. There's some weird signs. The content team, we usually don't get the content team, and we don't learn about all the back work about the speakers and all of this. So here's the content team.
You'll have to give me a minute while I unlock my laptop. Cool. Hi, I'm from the speaker desk / content team. We work quite closely with Katazi from Herald Coordination. We don't have Grafana, so I'm afraid there'll be no pretty graphs, but we do have some statistics and fun things to share. So over the last, 4 days, you have hopefully enjoyed 233 sessions from 179 speakers. I'd just like to give a round of applause to everyone who did submit to our CFP. There were loads of awesome submissions. Unfortunately, we couldn't accept everything, but thank you to everyone who did submit, and particularly those that did present. If we could just give them a round of applause. So that was made up of 144 talks over these 3 stages, 61 workshops across more than 3 workshop tents, I think 4 or 5, 27 music performances over on the music stage, 4% by our very own DJ in team content, 1 film with subtitles, a fire dragon, which was over there if you didn't see it, and loads and loads of village content, some of which was in our official program, some of which wasn't. There was loads of awesome stuff happening on the train, and I hope you managed to see some of it. So some other statistics. We had 1.5 mobile apps, an iPhone app, and an Android app that we never finished. I never finished. We did 25 schedule releases through Pretalks, which is the conference management system, just during the 4 days that we have been here. We had, unfortunately, 5 COVID cancellations, speakers that couldn't make it. They got COVID. We feel bad for them. We hope they're okay. We did have a fridge this year, which was awesome. We also had a drag queen, which I understand was very popular. And we lost track of how many passport stamps we gave out to people. We also had a load of speaker stickers. They were gold and shiny, like that, and they disappeared from our tent halfway through. So if you do know where they are, we would love to have them back, because we do have other speakers to give them to. So our Horeca order. This is important because we give the speakers free drinks when they come to us. And we have managed to order, I don't know if this is the most that a team has ordered, I suspect probably not, but we have ordered that amount of stuff, quite a lot of mate, which we have given out to our speakers. If you want drinks, please submit to the CFP next year. And some less sensible statistics. We had 2 of our Augur late to their talks, which created 1 miffed herald. We had 3 talk reruns because of unfortunate AV issues. We had 1 water-related power failure in our tent, where it tripped the breaker. And then when it got really, really hot, it actually heated up our thermal cutout and tripped it again. We had 1 pre-talks server migration. Thank you to Wouter for doing that halfway through yesterday, I think. As you can see on the back of our gator, we have a "How am I driving" sticker. We had 2 suggestions on how we could improve our driving. I don't know what that says about us. We had 1 faulty Bulls wagon, which destroyed a fiber, 2 fibers, I think, from NOC. We're really sorry. And 1 broken label printer thing. They cost 50 euros, and it got really hot and melted in the machine. And unfortunately, we have 1 talk that's overrunning, which is this one. It's the only one. So I'm going to quickly end this. Just some thank yous. So Productie House and the VOC, they are awesome. They do a great job of streaming everything and going and fixing HDMI cables in workshops when they don't work. The Herald Desk and I'm going. The Herald Desk and Katasi in particular, who has just organized everything with heralding. We haven't done anything. We printed cards, and that was it. The ever-patient sysadmin, Wouter, who deals with pre-talks when it crashes every 5 minutes. And our Lightning Talk coordinators, who have coordinated all those who didn't submit to the CFP but still wanted to have a chance to speak on stage. I understand there's some really good talks for that. They are recorded. You can watch them online. And finally, we have an angel that has literally sat in our tent for the entire weekend. So thank you to them in particular, and all of the other teams, all the angels that signed up for shifts, and in particular PL for supporting us in this event. So thank you.
So, as this was the only first things first, thanks a lot to all the Augur teams and all the angels and everyone who helped making this event as awesome and as it was, right? Please, a very warm applause for everyone.